All right, we'll start off with a question for you. Coach, this is your second year at the program, second year as a head coach. What do you feel like is the difference between year one, year two for you as a coach and helping this program take strides forward?
Interesting question. I just thought about that a couple of days ago. Last year was unique because it was the first. I think this year is a little different because last year I had 5 seniors, so I had to find a way to get them to buy in a short amount of time. This year I have freshmen, that 8 new players that my staff and I have recruited, and the ones returning are people that we truly believe want to accomplish the same things that we want to accomplish as a unit. So it's more of a cohesiveness as far as that's concerned, and not so much of the urgency to try to impact these young ladies' lives so much as the seniors last year. As far as the talent, I think we've improved that. Obviously, recruiting does that. But as far as the goal and the mission of the program, I think it remains consistent. It's almost as if this year is year one all over again with 8 new players.
That sort of ties into the next thing I was going to ask you. It's funny because usually when somebody comes in and takes over a program, they bring a lot of new faces. We're seeing that over the men's side right now. But it's year two in one way, and it's year one, like you just said, in another way. What's kind of I guess you could say, what's the best part of being able to bring in all these new faces this year, and what's going to be the biggest challenge?
I think the best part when you can bring in new people and new faces, you almost have like blank canvas. So whatever you want to instill, whatever you want to teach, whatever you want them to grasp, they're more of a sponge because this is their first time receiving it. Whereas when you come in with a veteran group, they've been taught one way to do things. This way allows with the 2 sophomore and the 8 new players, they were around. So they had a chance to see and get it for the first time. And with the 8 new players, they're getting it, the experience for the first time. And then I think with our returners, they truly believe and understand where we're trying to go as far as the program is concerned. Now, the biggest challenge is we have 8 new players. So we have to try to work on our chemistry. There is a sense of urgency for that, to develop that immediately before, at least by the time we get to conference play.
Now, last year was a senior-laden group. We'll start with you here, Briona. Now you're an upperclassman, and you're kind of tasked with, you got to play under a lot of seniors the last couple of seasons. Now you're kind of tasked with being one of the leaders of this team. How do you embrace that role?
I embrace my role very well. Knowing that I have younger ones behind me, following me, lead by example is very important to Coach Yo. Being that I'm a captain, things have to be crystal with me, and I accept my role and willing to take on everything that Coach Yo and my teammates expect of me this year.
You want to play a tough schedule. You want to battle test your team. We saw it last season. Played a lot of road games, played in tournaments. This season, we look at some of the highlights on the schedule. You travel to Florida, you travel to UCF, travel to Miami, travel to Tallahassee to play Florida State. You have Syracuse at home. How does this schedule compare to last year's schedule? And again, why do you like to play these tough out-of-conference matchups?
I just think when you have an opportunity to play teams at a higher level on paper, it just prepares you for conference. I think our conference is competitive, especially the top half. So us having the opportunity to play these top teams early on exposes us, challenges us, puts us in adverse situations where we have to come together as a team. We only won 3 games in non-conference last year. We went on a 5-game winning streak in conference to start conference play. It was because of our non-conference. It teaches our young ladies how to just persevere. And sometimes the best teachers by example. So with the exposure and us being able to be challenged, where it gives us the opportunity to get great film and have a chance to work on things that we need to improve on to win an ASUN championship.
Briona, what do you take out of these tough non-conference matchups?
Like Coach O said, it helps prepare us for our conference games. And in reality, they are tougher teams. You know, the non-conference are tougher teams. But when we step on the court, we just look at it as another basketball game and ready to go in there and compete with each other. But again, it does prepare us for the conference games and make us play the conference teams even more harder.
Sherranda, an opportunity to play some of the, I guess you could say on paper, higher caliber teams. You know, did you feel like because you were coming out of high school, you jumped right in and you're playing significant minutes against these big time schools. When conference play rolled around, you feel that all of a sudden you're like, okay, I'm ready for this.
Yes, I feel more prepared. I feel like as you approach every game, it should be the same each way. So I just feel like just approaching another game. And personally, I like the stage, so.
Big stage. As far as the newcomers, we don't have to like jump into specifics on anything, but what do you feel like they're bringing to the table as far as a team?
Offense. Our newcomers, they love to play offense. I mean, they're just talented. They can score. They fit the type of offense and defense that we want to run. Where last year I kind of had to force those girls to conform to the system that we would be built on. This year, these are players that were brought in to fit. I think with our, with having Lolia Briggs being able to play right away, who is a fifth-year senior, played in the ACC, she brings an incredible amount of experience and IQ. Also, our freshmen, they're winners. So they've won state championships. They know how, and they've been the premier and primary scorers for their team. So we definitely can score in different type of ways this year.
She's intense. Like every play, just go hard, and she's gonna challenge you, and I like that. Like mostly because she can put on her shoes and get out there and play with us. So it's really nice.
Adds an extra dimension there, doesn't it?
Yes, sir.
Coach, why don't you lighten up and go on?
Because I don't want anybody to lose their confidence. So I'll just, stand on the side.
That's a good answer. Briona, for you, what have you noticed? Because Coach says bringing in these new players is changing some things, obviously. And we know that while this year is year 2 of Coach Yo's kind of regime here, it's still very different. And for you, you've been here, this will be your 3rd year. What have you noticed this year that is maybe the best change versus last year?
Relationship-wise with my teammates, on and off the court, it's allowed, being here in the summertime with my teammates, has allowed us to grow together. And then being that Coach Yo, this is her team, like she's had a chance to experience the girls, watch them play during the AAU and during their high school, and to know what she wants from them to bring to the team. So whatever she thought we were missing, she's seen in those girls and we're able to bring it in herself. And it collaborates with the girls that are returning, and it's just a good fit.
Sherranda, you open up conference play against UNF at home. It's a rarity. You don't see that all that often, where all of a sudden you have an opportunity to jump right into things against a rival in a home game, nonetheless. You guys swept UNF last year. How are you going to go into this game? Because you obviously want to start off conference play with a win. You obviously want to beat your rivals. I mean, all that sort of coming in together, plus the tough out-of-conference schedule. How are you going to prepare to go into that UNF game?
It'll be the same approach as last year. Just going to our scout, listening to our coaches, going with the game plan, and we expect to come out with a win again.
I want to talk about the opportunity to play at Swisher Gymnasium. All but one game is at Swisher this year. We'll start with you, Briona. I mean, what's it like to play in Swisher? It's a historic gym. It's not real big, but you're able to bring people in. It gets loud in there. What's the best advantage of playing games in Swisher, do you think?
That's a big advantage. Fans been able to, walk over to our gym and be able to cheer us on throughout the game. As in downtown, we have traffic issues. Students trying to get to our game as a Swisher. It's right here on campus. And although it may be small, that's fine. It gets louder in there. So we're hyped that the crowd is hyped.
We'll wrap things up with one question about something you touched on earlier, Coach. You said that an opportunity to bring in all these newcomers is allowing you to kind of change your style a little bit. Last year you had to conform your coaching in order to fit the roster. Now you're able to bring in the players that fit your coaching style. What kind of changes can we expect to see?
Well, really, the point I was making, last year the girls had to conform.
Right,
So
okay.
this year it's an easy transition because the ones that return fit, and the newcomers, we brought them in to be able to come in right away and play. I think you can see the same things. I think this year we're striving to be tougher, earlier. I think we're talented. I think we are athletic. We're gonna still be fast. We're still gonna press. We're still gonna be a team that's fun to watch. But most of all, you would see passion from these girls in every possession. You know, we want people to come out. We spent a lot of time just promoting the program in various ways. And when they come out, we want them to feel like they came out for a treat. And we want them to come back. And the only way you can do that is by putting out a good brand of basketball. And so when people associate Jacksonville women's basketball, I want them to think toughness. I want them to think athleticism, fun, and also winning. You know, we want to have success. We had a really good record at home. I don't know that we lost more than, 3 games at home, or right around that. So we really appreciate the opportunity to play a Swisher, play in front of our fans, and just go out there and have a ball.